Imagine it's 1983 for a second. Man, it sure does suck that I can't watch Magnum PI while we go to the beach. There's a solution for that, you know. This is the Hitachi CK-200 portable television. Scratch that. Portable color television. Yeah. And we're going to take a good look at it. So stick around because this thing is, in the language of Ukiah where I grew up, hella cool. Cue the intro. Nothing says 1980 like the square styling of this bulky silver box. I love the look of this thing. The silver buttons and trim, the black plastic accents, and they even managed to get some brushed metal in there, as it should be. We'll go through a full demo of this thing, including seeing it hooked up to my old Super Nintendo so you can see how much I suck at Mega Man. But first, there's something we need to take a look at. See these? These buttons are labeled VHF1, VHF2, and UHF. So what are those? Even if you're old enough to remember having a CRT television like this in your house, it probably just had channel numbers that went from 2 to whatever your cable provider gave you. For us, the last one that I remember was channel 50, and it was Cartoon Network. While writing the script for this video, I was upset that I couldn't remember about 10 of the channels that we had, like what they were. For some reason that bothered me, even though it's absolutely useless information. Anyway, before everything came through a wire for extra money, we had free TV over the airwaves, and it went all the way back to 1938. So again, what is VHF and UHF? Well, those are actually radio bands, sets of frequencies that were allocated for a particular use. In this case, radio and TV broadcasts. And my favorite part is what they stand for. VHF stands for, ready for this? Very high frequency. So you might be able to guess what UHF stands for. That's right, ultra high frequency. We could have had ridiculously high frequency, but someone decided to call that microwave, and I feel like that's an opportunity lost. We could have reheated our leftovers in ridiculously high frequency ovens. I guess that's why they don't let me name stuff. So the most important feature of this TV before we get into anything else is this little compartment here. Look at that. Batteries. A whole boatload of them. D-cells too. Remember what we were saying about Magnum PI? Well, thanks to the power of 9 D-cells, you can bring that mustache anywhere you want. We are not the only generation of people who needed our shows. Although, if I'm being fair, I think most of the time people use these to watch sports. Don't want to miss that baseball game. The color CRT screen is on the left. It's a big 5 inches, which is actually pretty decent considering the whole thing is only 11 inches wide. The volume control is this little slider, and your channel tuner is this pair of search buttons. It's fully automatic. Below that are the frequency band selectors, which are cleverly color-coded with a matching line on the screen and print on the bottom. Red, green, and blue. Under this little door, you can disable the automatic search feature and adjust the frequency manually with this little knob. I'm forced to speculate a little bit here, but I think Hitachi was pretty confident in their automatic frequency tuner because the manual knob is very small and difficult to use. We'll see that later when I hook it up to the Nintendo. The power button is in the top right, and next to it is your channel recall. There's only one speaker, and it's here on the front. The top looks like a speaker, but it's just a vent. On the bottom right, you have an 1/8-inch headphone jack. We'll take a look at all the picture knobs at the bottom during the game demo bit. For now, let's take a look at the back. There's not a lot going on in the back. You have 3 inputs for antennas, a 75 ohm coaxial VHF, a pair of twin lead screws for UHF, and a third twin lead connector. Someone hooked a coaxial adapter to that. You also have 2 options for power supply. Well, 3 if you count the batteries. But you have a mains AC figure 8 plug and a 12-volt barrel plug. Also, there's 3 aggressive warnings on the label. We'll be ignoring one of those warnings in a little bit. This TV also has a pair of built-in telescoping antennas on the top. This is why they call them rabbit ears. The 2 antennas create a dipole with adjustable angle and direction, which increases the sensitivity over a single post antenna. We can thank Marvin Middlemark for that. He invented the rabbit ear antenna in 1953. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to demo this thing with the Nintendo right now, but I want to let you guys know. I have plans for another video with this TV in the somewhat near-ish future. I just ordered something on Amazon so I can hook my computer to this thing. The obvious reason, of course, for doing that is so that I can try playing World of Warcraft on a tiny 5-inch CRT screen. And I want to show the process of hooking everything up when I get it. Doesn't that sound exciting? Well, anyway, it'll still be interesting to be able to output a computer screen to a CRT. Heck, you could watch your favorite YouTuber. Hooking the Super Nintendo to the TV was as simple as plugging the cord into the back. Then we go VHF, turn on the Nintendo, and search for channel 3. Hey, look at that, it's a tiny Mega... Wait, that doesn't look like Mega Man. Crap, I hope it's not broken. Maybe if I just bump it. Okay, there we go. The color's pretty nice. I don't know if it's coming across for you guys, but in person, it looks really good. While we're here, let's cover the knobs at the bottom. You have your picture, your brightness, your tint, your color, and the vertical hold. I have loved this game since I was a kid. I'm pretty sure the background music was a catalyst for my love of metal today. I can barely see what I'm doing, but this might be the only no-damage, Buster-only Chill Penguin fight on a 5-inch portable 80s CRT television anywhere on YouTube. Okay, screw it. I want to try Starfox too, see if I can get anywhere with that. Hey, what do you know? It's almost playable. By the way, you guys should check out A Fox in Space by Matthew Gafford. I'll put a link in the description. It's an animated Starfox series with a comedic film noir vibe. It's definitely worth watching, but let's finish the TV first. I do come across these little TVs on a somewhat regular basis, and it's nice to know that they can still be used for something. Honestly, that's why I want to get this one hooked up to my computer. Hopefully these guys won't be destined for the scrap heap if we can think of something really cool to do with them. I kind of wish I still had the smallest one I ever found, but it got sold before I decided to start making YouTube videos. That thing had a tiny 2.5-inch screen, and it was an alarm clock. But now you know we have to open this thing, right? As a disclaimer, this is a CRT television. You should not open these if you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing either. But if I electrocute myself, at least I'm married to a nurse, so my chances are a little bit better. To open the TV up, you just remove these 6 screws. I'm leaving the wires attached and just lifting the case up so I don't have to stick my hand inside this thing. There's the actual picture tube. You can see that's why the case is as long as it is. There's power switch, transformer, a bunch of other components that I don't understand. We should probably close this thing up before I break something or hurt myself. Instead of begging for a subscription this time, which I'd love, it helps, instead I'd like to pose a question. If you're like me and you like buying, selling, fixing, or collecting vintage electronics like this, or vintage clothes, furniture, tchotchkes, whatever, what is your favorite thing that you've found unexpectedly? Like something you weren't actively searching for but just came across in a thrift store or estate sale or pawn shop or whatever it is. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what kind of cool random things you guys have found. So I'll see you soon, and as always, stay metal.